Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of my air-powered vertical coaster contest. Now, this contest ran in the month of April 2019, and everybody had to make an air-powered vertical coaster in this contest, and they were not allowed to use the original coaster track. It had to be done like I showed in my tutorials. And actually a lot of people joined. We had 32 entries, which is a lot. I never dreamed we would get this many entries. So in this video I will just show you what everyone made for this contest. Now, since there were 32 entries, I will just go over them quickly, just so this video doesn't get too long. So anyway, enough talking, let's start. Alright, here we have the entry that placed 32nd. This one was made by Misiek93. He made this three-way dueling air-powered vertical coaster. Well, it looks a bit empty here in the middle. I also had to dock a few points because he used the original track here in the middle, which was not allowed. But I do like how these three coasters do well here. They go a bit over these hills a bit too fast, and also he didn't hide these LSM launches. And of course, magnetic launches are not air-powered launches. So yeah, this all hurt his score a bit. Okay, the next entry is from Ricardowordo. He made this space themed coaster. You can see it go around here. The coaster is actually on an invisible track, and it passes through these pieces of hardline twisted track. I think he would have scored a little bit better if the track was actually visible. I do like how he made these stars, although they are a bit glitchy in some points. You can see he made it black by using all these maze pieces. And must have taken ages to get all these maze pieces to look right. But yeah, like I said, he would have probably scored better if the track was visible and if there was more interesting stuff to look at. Okay, then we have a four-way tie for 27th place. This one was made by a newcomer, Necher Exploreros Score. I actually gave him some tips to improve his entry after he submitted it to me. Well, I think these buildings are a bit too big. When you make buildings, you should try to make them look interesting and not use large roof surfaces, because that usually makes them look a bit bland. So this glass building is kind of cool though. I like the layout of his coaster, although it does go over these hills a little bit fast. I think the boats here are a nice touch. Also in 27th place is this this entry made by Ocalhoun. I keep saying plot. So yeah, Ocalhoun made this triple launch coaster, but yeah, sadly, well, air-powered coasters, they in reality they would not be able to do a triple launch. That's only possible with LSM launches, because they can also be applied while the train is moving through them. And I think this layout is a bit too much for a air-powered vertical coaster, to be honest. It actually goes upside down here for a bit. It's a bit crazy. And after it has been through the track, it drops up this chain lift here, and then it goes down vertically and then goes through the entire layout another time. And there's also another wooden coaster here. Let me change the weather to sunny. It's also a wooden coaster here. It is quite cool actually. So yeah, this visually this entry is amazing. But yeah, this is not really what people were supposed to make for an air-powered vertical coaster. But yeah, if it was a different ride contest, this would have probably gotten a really good score. Maybe it was a triple launch coaster contest. Now here we have another entry that was in 27th place. This one was made by Lukasyee. And I really like the layout of this coaster. This looks really nice. It's just nice and simple, but done really well. I love the extra track that he put under it just to make it look a little bit more impressive. This top hat looks really nice. Also the loop decoration looks really nice. Well, one thing that probably hurt his score was that the coaster was actually kept in test mode. But other than that, I think it's all quite nice. Maybe it could have used an extra ride just to spice it up a little bit more. Now here's another entry that got 27th place. This one's from Kaasvlinder. He actually made two dueling air-powered vertical coasters. Well, I think again this layout is a little bit too much. There's many hills which the coasters really fly over. I think one thing that hurt his score is that for many of these decorations he actually just used the standard coasters or the standard colors for these tracks, and that's something you really should avoid. So yeah, if he had made it a little bit more calm, maybe yeah, just not such wild layouts, and if the decorations didn't have their standard colors, then probably it would have scored a lot better. Okay, then we also have a tie for 25th place. This one was made by Groope. It's called Mars. It actually also looks like a Martian landscape. I really like the layout of this coaster. It's just a nice top hat, nicely decorated, nice loop here, and also some other rides, and also this Martian structures also look quite cool. And the guests actually walk through these tubes. I think that's a nice touch. But yeah, I think it would have probably gotten a better score if there was some, maybe some more rides, some more decorations. Because now everything is mostly just land without anything on it. That would have probably made it score better. But overall, I like everything that's here. Now, also in 25th place, we have this entry made by Nik Batlik. His air-powered vertical coaster is it's quite cool. It gets launched here through this tunnel, then goes over the top hat, and then actually travels up the spike, then goes back up over the top hat, and then travels to another spike here backwards. You can actually see it in action here. It travels upwards here, then goes back over the top hat, and actually goes through this little S-band here, and then it travels forward through the rest of the layout. But yeah, I think it would have been better if it just stuck to, if it just kept lower to the ground. And again, this layout is a bit wild. Also because he built so close to the edge of the map, it looks like he had to compress everything a bit. I think that also hurts how pleasant the layout looks a bit. So he made a go-kart here, but yeah, because he used the flying saucer track, everything looks quite blocky. And maybe some buildings next to the track would have made that look a bit better. But overall, nice effort. Also, there's another inverted coaster here. I think one other thing that hurts the looks of this map a bit is that everything has the same colors. I think, well, it would work if you use the same colors, but you should really stick to the 3 or 4 colors that you use everywhere. I think that makes it look better. Alright, in 24th place we have this entry made by Louie. Again, quite a crazy layout. The coaster gets launched here from underground. The station is right here underground. Gets launched up here. For some reason, the game always wants to make it rain when I watch. It travels over the top hat here through these double loops, and then it does some more underground stuff, and then here's another loop. One thing you should usually avoid is to build too high above the ground. Well, I usually try to stick a bit closer to the ground. I mean, this track down here, I think that looks a lot better than this track that's so high above the land. So yeah, that's probably something you should watch out for. So this layout is probably a bit too crazy for a air-powered vertical coaster, but overall nice effort. And this temple, well, I think the temple is a bit too much roof. It would have probably looked better if there were some more visible walls, and the walls that are there, they should have some windows, just to make it look nicer. Right, here we have the entry made by Tommy D. He made this dueling air-powered vertical coaster. Well, again, these LSM lounges are visible, which is probably something you should avoid for these kind of coasters. I do like that he made dueling coasters. One thing I don't really like about this plot is that, well, yeah, it is nice to encase your paths in glass, but it just looks a bit too much, well, it looks the same everywhere here, and that probably hurt his score. So yeah, try to add some more diversity to the stuff you place down in your park. Alright, here's the entry from Lycos Gen, a guy who likes to visit my YouTube channel a lot. He made this really compact air-powered vertical coaster. I actually gave him a small point penalty because this was not really what people were supposed to make in my contest. I mean, these coasters are all about high speed, big top hat, wide curves, and this looks more like a Eurofighter. In fact, the launch in this coaster is so weak that he actually had to use a chain lift to pull the coaster cars over the top hat. But yeah, I do like that he actually used the names of many of the members of our Discord in these shops and stall names. For example, here you can find the bank of Dirk link. That's pretty cool. But yeah, next time you should maybe try to follow my tutorial more for when you make stuff for one of my contests. Alright, in 21st place we have this plot made by Twan. Also quite a compact air-powered vertical coaster, all in the color yellow mixed with some purple. I think this color scheme works quite well. It would have probably scored better if the layout was a bit more spaced out. First time he submitted it to me, these hills were even higher, and it was just pure chaos. The top hat could have probably been a little bit higher, then it probably would have looked a bit better. But overall, I think it's quite nice to look at. I do really like the trees he used. Alright, then we have a three-way tie for 18th place. This one's made by JKalenad. He made this really simple layout for the air-powered vertical coaster. I think it was inspired by Skyrim. Probably visible in the names. Yeah, the names are the rides are named after Skyrim characters, or I see the name of a dragon here by Thurnax. So yeah, that's all pretty cool. I think if there were maybe one or two extra rides, it would have scored better. But I really like the look of this layout. This is how you would probably see them in real life. So yeah, really nice layout. I love the track texture he used, and also the custom supports that he made using these scenery pieces. So yeah, great work. Now here's another entry that also got in tied 18th place. This one's made by TIMidator. So yeah, this layout's really cool with a high top hat, and here look how they go through these loops. That looks awesome. So really nice supports on the loops. But what probably hurt his score most is these awful blocky buildings. Really just wooden walls and roof, no windows. That's just awful to look at. And I'm probably not the only one who thinks that, because this would have scored so much better if this had nice station buildings. I do like most of the other stuff that's here. These monster trucks are pretty cool. And also, yeah, I really like how these trains duel and how they go through these loops here. That's really cool. Yeah, also this building, really, try not to make blocky buildings, it will really hurt your score. Alright, here's the third entry that got 18th place. This one's made by It's Just Curtis. He made this really interesting top hat. I don't really know what this structure around it is. It would have probably looked better without it. But yeah, the coaster goes over top hat normally, and then there's another top hat which it travels over upside down. And then here's some more hills before it returns to the station. And then there's this structure. I have no idea what this is, but it's there. And then it returns to the station. So a bit of a transfer track here. I think that's cool. Not sure how this would work. But yeah, I think it's a nice effort. Yeah, I'm not really, I don't really like the way this looks, but still, nice effort. He should have probably also hidden these booster pieces, because they're LSM launch pieces, and it's an air-powered vertical coaster you're making. Alright, here we have the entry made by ZODE. This was actually one of my favorites, but it did score pretty low. I do really like the layout of this coaster. What I don't like is all these straight pieces on the coaster. Probably it would have looked a bit more interesting if it was more curvy. If it had a bit more, a bit nicer flow to it. Also, one other thing is that the water here, it looks quite glitchy. So when you put objects below the surface, you should always make sure that the objects are actually below the surface. You can do that with Tile Inspector, and once you do that, the water above it, the objects, should stop glitching out. So yeah, try to keep that in mind when you place objects below the water. And then we had a three-way tie for 14th place. This one was made by a newcomer, I Am Bear. This was actually one of my favorites also. This I really like how this top hat here was built. It looks really nice. I also love the colors, grey with black supports, looks really good. And I also really love the layout of this air-powered vertical coaster. This looks like something you would see in real life. Also, I kind of like how this station building was made. That looks pretty cool. I probably would have used some ride elements to make this path, just to make these stairs look better. And also these buildings, I think the buildings could use a bit of work. They look a bit monotonous. And, well, I don't know if the creator knows it, but you can actually use it. You can actually own all land in Open Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, just so you don't see the fence around the park anymore. I don't know if this was intentional, but yeah. You can own all land and then you don't see this fence anymore. Now here's another entry that also got 14th place. This layout also looks quite cool. I like how the loop here is placed right next to the top hat. I do think the hills are maybe a little bit too high in this coaster, but yeah, it does travel through the top hat at a nice speed. So yeah, it looks quite nice. One thing that probably could have been done better, well, there's only shops here and some rides next to it. I think it could have used another tracked ride here, maybe a monster truck ride or a go-kart track. That probably would have made it look nicer, just like it would have used some more of the space here. But other than that, it's a nice effort. So great job. Now here's another entry that got 14th place. This one's made by PopsiclePenguin. But yeah, it's not the usual quality I'm used of from PopsiclePenguin. PopsiclePenguin said that it was kind of rushed, and you can see that it's just lacking a bit of detail. The layout is also kind of wild. I would have scored it better if the layout was a bit more calm. And well, yeah, it's just sad that PopsiclePenguin didn't have much time to build this. Alright, in 13th place we have this coaster made by Mekkit. I would have wanted this to score a little bit higher, but yeah, I really like the layout of this coaster. It's just simple, the nice big top hat, some fast turns here, but still very wide turns. I think this layout is just perfect for a contest like this. What probably stopped people from scoring it higher is that other than the coaster, there's just not really that much to look at. Well, of course, these buildings they look really nice. Also, some other rides here. Maybe it could have used some more details here. I think some monster trucks here that would drive around here would have looked really cool. Or maybe some water with a boat ride or something like that. Just some extra movement in the park, just some extra stuff to look at. And then it would have easily gotten in the top 10, I think. But yeah, great work, Mekkit. I really love the layout of this coaster. Great job. Then, in 12th place we have this entry from Amenity. Amenity made this coaster. Well, this top hat is in my opinion a bit too wide, but it's there. Then the coaster breaks and goes into this little building. Then it gets launched again. And here it does some shoestringing shenanigans. The coaster splits up into 3, then slows down, and then here in the middle they combine again. Well, of course, you can see signs here, credit to the Flying Germans. That's because this structure in the middle was copied from a park made by well, the Flying Germans. It was from a contest on any designs. So yeah, while it looks impressive, of course it was copied from a different park. And that's probably also what hurt his score a bit. The two things that stopped me from scoring this any higher were the really wide top hat. This top hat would have looked so much better if it was just less wide, just smaller, just like the other top hats you've seen in this contest. And I also really didn't like that it had to slow down here in this building. But yeah, that was probably to get it at the right speed for this shoestringing shenanigans to actually work. So yeah, probably with an original idea, you will probably score much better, Amenity. But thanks for joining anyway. Oh yeah, one thing I did really like about this entry was this bridge. That looks really nice. So yeah, nice work, but try to come up with an original idea next time. Oh yeah, one other thing that happens here is that if you run it a bit at the maximum speed, after a while this ride will crash. But it may take a while. Anyway, let's move on to the next map. Alright, in 11th place we have this entry made by Wacked Score. I really like this layout. It just looks really pleasing. I love this color combination. The blue with this dark color red looks really nice. Really love this top hat. Some nice curves here in this track. So diagonal hill here. So yeah, really nice stuff all around. And he made these portals here by putting a loop underground with these waterfalls, and that all yeah, it all just looks nice, you know. Also, these trees are a nice color, green, and it all just works. That's also why it got 11th place out of the 32 entries. Everything just works well. So great work. Maybe it would have scored better if there were more rides than just this one. Of course, there's also merry-go-round, but maybe it could have used a boat ride or something like that. I don't know. Maybe just some extra stuff to look at. Alright, here we have the entry made by DMaxSBA. He's a newcomer on my server, but apparently he already made parks for quite some years, like 10 years ago. You can see from these buildings that he's a really skilled player. These buildings just look awesome. So with these diagonal parts and these track pieces on top of them, they all just look really nice. That's also why I gave this park a really high score myself. This, yeah, everything here just looks so nice. Also, the thing I love most in this park is just these buildings here that are filled with candy. Also, the rides all had quite funny names. Oh no, you don't, but didn't. That's all just really funny. So yeah, this was one of my favorite parks of this round. All the buildings here just look so nice. So I hope to see more from DMaxSBA in future contests. Cause damn, this is just awesome. Alright, in 9th place we have this entry from TechnoWitchoo32 Score. He made this red and pink coaster. Some really nice support here in some places. Well, I kind of like this entry as well. What I didn't like that much is how fast these trains just go through every element. This second top hat could have probably used some more height to it, but other than that, everything just looks really nice. I really like the look of all these crystals here, combined with all these canyon piece elements, all these flowers, swamps, all this everything. Even these flower power things here, just, well, normally I really hate this flower power path, but he actually managed to make it work. I think this actually looks quite cool. So yeah, even though it's full of expansion objects, I think he really made it work well. So yeah, great job and nice 10th place. I mean 9th place for the previous entry, not 10th place. In 8th place we have this entry from SatansCamaro. Well, he really filled the map with stuff to look at. He made this really cool air-powered vertical coaster which gets launched out of this building here, if I'm not mistaken. And it travels up here, then goes underground and goes over the top hat here. I really like this combination with all the wooden supports and the wooden track. I don't think I've seen that in any other park. Well, maybe the one from Mamarillas. But yeah, just really nice foliage everywhere. I really love all the trees and the plants here. It just is convincing as a jungle. Of course, the coaster goes throughout the entire park here, and yeah, all the track texture here around here is all just so nice. I also love the waterfalls that he made here everywhere. These waterfalls look really good. I should probably make a tutorial on doing nice waterfalls. But yeah, if I haven't made the tutorial yet, you can just look at this park. This is how you make nice waterfalls if you don't have any custom scenery available. So here we have the entry from Mamarillas. But yeah, this coaster also looks really nice. You can see it fill up quite a big part of the entry. It has this really high top hat here, also travels through the loop. I like how he built these wooden supports under the coaster. I think it works really well. Even a little bit of transfer track here. That's quite cool. Also just some nice surroundings. There's a work truck here. And yeah, everything here just works really well. All the track texture here is just really nice. So yeah, great work Mamarillas, and hope to see a lot more from you in future contests. Great work. Alright, here we have the entry from Andae23, and damn, this just looks awesome. It's an air-powered vertical coaster, which is actually dueling with a twister coaster. It's actually a Mobius coaster, the twister coaster, so it enters, the trains leave from this track and they actually go through the track and then arrive at the second station. And the middle one is the air-powered vertical coaster, which is a separate track. But damn, this all just looks amazing. I actually rated this at 10 because I loved it so much. I think what stopped people from rating this higher is that, well, yeah, it just looks a bit unfinished. This part just looks really cool, this part looks really cool, but other than that, it's mostly just land. But yeah, I can only imagine how long it must have taken to make this. It's clear that he actually reset the date on this map to March year 1, but it must have taken quite a while to build all this. It all just looks so good. I really love this combination of these Asian walls with the black glass in front of it. All these track elements here, all the cog wheels, everything here just looks so amazing. This is a damn good entry. So yeah, sad to see it not finished any more than this, but still definitely one of my favorite entries in this round. If you can keep up this quality in next rounds, I would love to see more stuff from you in future contests. Great work, awesome entry. Now in 5th place we have this entry from Wacked, and as usual he just made awesome stuff. You can see the coaster here getting launched, and instead of a top hat he decided to only make a loop on this coaster. Yeah, that was also allowed. I think I would have scored it a little bit higher if it actually had a top hat instead of a loop, just because top hats just tend to look a little bit more impressive. But other than that, this park just looks amazing. All these buildings here are really nice, also with these awnings here. Really nice stuff. These buildings are really cool. Actually made a little slide here. I actually had to borrow the idea, it was awesome. Nice. But yeah, overall all these buildings look really cool. I think this turnaround is actually one of my favorite parts of this entire entry. It's really cool. He also has some planes flying around here on an invisible track. That's also quite a cool idea. And here's a construction site with a little car here. Some cranes. Oh, it's actually Felix Baumgartner. Guy in the spacesuit driving the crane, I guess. Oh, that's a really cool idea. He actually put a monorail cabin here to represent the crane cabin. That's a really cool idea. I haven't even spotted that before. That's awesome. But yeah, just many cool details all around here. Some nice waterfalls here as well. So great work from Wacked again. Alright, in 4th place we have this entry from a newcomer, Heiko, and damn, this landscape just looks amazing. You can also see a dragon flying around here on the invisible track. That's also a trick I also like to use in my parks. A really cool looking Japanese style temple used as the entrance of this coaster. Well, the coaster first gets launched here through this curve, then goes over the top hat, then it travels here over the mountain, it does some more twisty shenanigans, and then finally travels through the loop here and then back to the station. I really like how he did the supports for this loop. It looks simple, but it's really effective. He just put some vertical track here that looks like it really blends into this loop. That just looks really cool. Also, this bridge here also has some really nice supports. So yes, and more nice buildings all around here. So yeah, overall this just looks it's really pleasing to the eye. So great 4th place from this newcomer Heiko. Alright, 3rd place, this entry from Spons. Spons tends to do really well in this contest, and this one was no exception. It may even be difficult to spot the launched coaster. You can actually see it go here over the top hat, but damn, everything here is just decorated so well. Also again here these marble walls from I think they're from the Asian set. I just really like them. Most objects from the expansion sets just look really bad, but these marble walls, they're used really well here. Spons just decorated everything so nicely, so it's not a miracle he got 3rd place. Everything here just looks so impressive, and must have taken quite a while to get all this to look so nice. So there's here you can see a wild mouse here that interacts nicely with the air-powered vertical coaster. There's also a nice maze here surrounding this building. Everything just looks really nice. I'm really impressed by how this one looks. So great work, Spons, and I'm happy to see you join these contests. This just looks amazing. Alright, in 2nd place we have this entry from Iretont. Well, just like last contest, his entry is just filled with track texture. It's just damn. I wonder how many rides he used. 64. That's a lot for such a small map. So yeah, really nice supports here for this coaster. Everything just looks so good. I really love this station building that he made. The coaster actually gets launched over this bridge here, which has 3 levels. You can see it get launched here on over the top level. What I like most about this entry is these supports that he used for the top hat. He used the tower from the reverse freefall coaster with inverted impulse coaster track on top, and even some hardline twister coaster on top, right under the normal track. So yeah, lots of track texture, but it all works quite well. Just looks nice everywhere. But yeah, this bridge there's 3 levels. You can see the coaster get launched over top level. 1 level under it is a bridge for a miniature train. Not sure if we will get to see it right now. If you want to check out these entries for yourself, by the way, you can simply download them from the archive on my Discord channel. There you can see the train go. The smoke actually goes through the roof, but okay. And on the lower level you can see a pedestrian bridge, which damn, I really love the way this looks. Also for the waterfalls he put these river rapids pieces under them. I think that works quite well. But yeah, well deserved 2nd place. Really impressive looking entry. Great job. And here's our number 1 entry. I also rated this one 10 out of 10. I just love the way this looks. So yeah, the coaster cars get launched up here, up the top hat. Then they travel through this twisty track. Then later they pass through this loop, do some underground sections. And then in the end they pass through this twisty track here over the water. It's actually a bit of a transfer track here as well. What I like most about this entry is this bridge that Julia Mild made for the train. This just looks awesome. I really like how these arches look with this combination of wooden track and wooden supports. It just looks amazing. So these waterfalls just look so nice. It's just yeah, really awesome. Also, all these buildings are really pleasing to look at. So yeah, if you ever struggle to make nice looking buildings using just normal scenery, just look at these buildings. This is how you do it. Just layers, different colors. Everything just works so well here. I'm really impressed, and I'm really happy that this got first place. This is just so nice to look at. A well-deserved first place. So great job, Julia. I'm out, and I hope to see more from you in the future. Anyway, that took a while. These were all the 32 entries for this contest, the air-powered vertical coaster contest. In a few days we will start the May contest. I haven't revealed what it will be yet, but you will see it in a few days. If you want to join any of these contests, you can join my Discord channel. The link is in the description. And I hope to see many more people join the next rounds of these contests. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. I sure enjoyed making this, and I hope to see you again in the next one. See you later.